Music floated through the marble halls of Hale Estate, the kind of music that hid cruelty beneath crystal chandeliers. Olivia Hartman adjusted the silk of her maternity gown, her hands trembling as she stood at the edge of her husband's charity gala. The baby inside her kicked, tiny proof she still had something for. Nathan Hale, her husband, was across the room, smiling for cameras, his arms snug around his new public relations prodigy, Vanessa Price. Vanessa's red dress caught every flash like spilled wine. Her laughter sliced through the noise. People whispered, "Isn't Ollie, Mrs. Hale, you look radiant," the donor said, eyes darting toward Vanessa. Olivia thanked him, her throat tight. She had spent weeks painting decorations for tonight, hoping Nathan might notice, hoping he'd remember she still existed outside the boss strung. On stage, Nathan raised a glass. "To new beginnings," he said. Vanessa's hand slid across his. The audience clapped. Olivia's stomach twisted. She felt the baby shift as if sensing her heartbreak. Martha Hartman, her mother, stood near the catering table, watching helplessly. She had begged Olivia not to attend. But Olivia believed showing grace would save her marriage. Instead, she watched her husband lean down and whisper something that made Vanessa giggle loud enough for microphones to catch. Laughter rippled across the hall. Olivia turned away, pretending to admire a painting. That's when Alma Ruiz, the longtime housekeeper, appeared beside her. "Miss Liv," Alma whispered, "come outside for air." Olivia nodded, blinking away tears. The cool night met her like mercy. From the terrace she could see the Pacific stretching dark and endless. She placed her hands over her belly. "Hang on, little one," she murmured. "We're almost through this." Behind her, voices grew sharper. Vanessa's tone cut through the music. "She's still here? Why didn't security move her?" Then Nathan's reply, cold, controlled. "She wanted to be part of the show. Let her." Olivia froze. Her pulse thundered. Every guest could hear. The microphones on stage were still live. The laughter returned, meaner this time. Cameras swung toward her, capturing the pregnant wife standing alone while her husband entertained the woman destroying their marriage. Martha pushed through the crowd to reach her, but Tom Barrett, head of security, blocked her path. "Mr. Hale's orders, ma'am. Please remain inside." Outside, Olivia's tears blurred the city lights. She thought of her father's death 5 years ago at this very estate, how Nathan's company had quietly covered the incident. Something about tonight felt the same. Polished lies over rotting truth. A thunder of applause echoed again. Nathan kissed Vanessa's hand as photographers swarmed. Olivia stumbled backward, clutching the railing. Her phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "He's not who you think. Check the security feed. Storage room 3. The text burned across the screen like a spark in gasoline. Her breath caught. The baby kicked hard beneath her ribs. Somewhere inside the mansion, a door slammed and lights flickered. Olivia turned toward the sound, unaware that tonight would not end with humiliation, but with a discovery that would shatter every secret the Hale family had ever buried. Olivia slipped through the terrace door, the phone still glowing in her palm. "Storage room 3, the message said. Her pulse quickened. Somewhere inside the mansion's west wing, behind velvet ropes and antique portraits, that room waited like a sealed wound. Inside, the gala continued its glittering cruelty. Reporters chased Nathan and Vanessa for quotes, cameras flashing. Martha argued with security, her voice breaking. Alma caught Olivia's eye from across the hall, nodded once, and discreetly pointed toward the service corridor. Olivia took a breath and moved, one hand on her belly, the other shielding her face from the guests' stares. The music muffled as she slipped into the narrow hallway lined with catering trays and crates of champagne. Her heels clicked softly. She passed Tom Barrett speaking into his earpiece. He didn't notice her shadow. A red exit sign glowed at the far end beside a heavy metal door marked Storage 3. Her heart pounded. She pressed her ear to the door. Inside, muffled voices. She recognized Nathan's sharp tone and another, Vanessa's whispery drawl. "You promised you'd make her disappear?" Vanessa hissed. "I told you, I can't until the board signs the new trust," Nathan snapped. "You think the baby will change anything? Once she's gone, no one can claim the estate." "Keep your voice down," he warned. "If anyone finds out about the transfer, we're finished." Olivia's fingers shook. Transfer? Her mind raced. She looked around for a camera, any proof. On a cart nearby, she saw an old maintenance tablet still powered on. A small light blinked. Security feed live. She tapped it, Grainy footage filled the screen. Nathan handing Vanessa a folder. Vanessa slipping a thumb drive into her purse. The screen flickered again, then froze. Connection lost. Footsteps approached. Olivia ducked behind a stack of linen crates just as the door burst open. Vanessa strutted out, perfume thick as smoke, smiling at her reflection in a silver tray. Nathan followed, jaw tight. She's not leaving without a scandal, Vanessa murmured. One leak, one rumor, and she's ruined. Nathan exhaled. I just need a few more days. After that, she'll sign whatever I give her. Make sure of it, Vanessa said, then glided down the corridor. Olivia stayed still until the echo of heels vanished. Her throat burned with rage and fear. She reached for the tablet again, determined to save the partial clip, but the battery died. The faint buzz of her phone startled her. Another text. Don't trust the guards. Get out now. A crash erupted from the ballroom. Glass shattering, shouts rising. Olivia hurried back toward the main hall. Guests screamed. Someone had fallen near the grand staircase. For a moment, chaos masked her presence. Alma met her halfway, face pale. Go live. They're looking for you. Nathan told Barrett you're trespassing. What? This is my home, Olivia gasped. Not anymore, Alma whispered, pressing car keys into her hand. Take my car. Don't go to Pasadena. I'll explain later. Just run. Tears blurred Olivia's vision as she stumbled toward the servants' exit. Behind her, the orchestra stopped playing. Only the wail of sirens grew closer. She didn't know whether they were for the fallen guest or for her. When the mansion doors slammed shut behind her, Olivia didn't realize she had escaped more than humiliation. She had just stepped away from a conspiracy that would soon destroy everyone inside Hale Estate. Rain hammered against the windshield as Olivia drove through the winding Malibu roads. Alma's old sedan rattled with every curve. Her hands shook on the steering wheel, the wipers struggling to clear the storm. She couldn't tell if the water on her face was rain or tears. Her baby shifted restlessly, a small kick reminding her she wasn't alone. Headlights flashed behind her, too close, too fast. She glanced in the rearview mirror. A black SUV was following, its beams cutting through the rain. Her breath hitched. She pressed harder on the gas, heart racing. Please, not now, she whispered, her voice trembling. Not tonight. The road twisted along the cliffs, waves crashing below. Her phone buzzed again. Another message. They know you saw. Don't go home. Her chest tightened. Home? What home? She had nowhere left to go. Pasadena was too dangerous. If Nathan truly believed she had evidence, his people would search every corner. She thought of her mother, fragile and unaware of tonight's chaos. I'll come back for you, Mom, she whispered, voice cracking. The SUV drew closer. She could see silhouettes through the windshield. Two men, one talking into a radio. Fear burned through her like fire. She turned sharply toward the old service road leading to the beach. Mud splashed over the tires. The car jolted. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the cliffs. The SUV skidded behind her, fishtailing before slowing down. They weren't chasing her now. They were waiting. Olivia spotted a small fishing shack near the shoreline and steered toward it. The car coughed, engine sputtering, then died. She stumbled out, clutching her belly. The rain soaked her dress, plastering it to her skin. She pushed open the shack door. It creaked like a dying breath. Inside, old nets and wooden crates littered the floor. Her phone's screen flickered. 1% battery left. She dialed Ryan Hale's number, the only person she trusted even slightly. Straight to voicemail. She left a whisper. Ryan, it's Olivia. Something's wrong. They know I saw something at the gala. Please, if anything happens to me, tell my mother I love her. The phone died mid-sentence. Thunder rolled. Outside, the SUV's engine roared again. Headlights swept across the beach. Olivia crouched behind a stack of crates, her heart hammering. Footsteps crunched in the sand. Male voices carried through the wind. Search the shack, one ordered. Mr. Hale wants her safe, but not loud. Safe? The word twisted in her chest. This wasn't protection. It was containment. She knew Nathan didn't want a scandal. He wanted silence. The door creaked open. Flashlights darted across the room. Olivia held her breath. One hand pressed over her belly to keep the baby calm. Her pulse thudded so hard she thought they could hear it. A crash of thunder masked the sound of her slipping through the back window. Barefoot, she ran across the wet sand toward the dunes. The storm howled, the waves clawing at her ankles. Behind her, one of the men shouted, "She's heading north." She stumbled, nearly falling, then saw faint lights ahead. A small cottage perched above the shore. Hope flickered like a match in the storm. Olivia sprinted toward the light, unaware that inside that cottage waited someone who knew the truth about her father's death, and that meeting would change everything. The cottage door opened before Olivia could knock. A woman stood framed by the glow of a single lamp, gray hair tied in a bun, raincoat dripping. "You shouldn't be out here, sweetheart," she said, pulling Olivia inside. "Storm's bad enough to drown the whole coast." Olivia collapsed onto a worn sofa, breathless. I'm sorry. I didn't know where else to go." The woman locked the door, studying her. "Name's Alma Ruiz. You remember me?" Olivia blinked through the blur. "Alma? The housekeeper?" "The same," Alma said, setting a kettle on the stove. "I left Hale Estate right after you did. Didn't like what I saw that night." Lightning flashed through the small window, illuminating shelves filled with old photographs and seashells. The scent of chamomile filled the air. For a moment, the storm outside felt distant. "You said you didn't like what you saw," Olivia whispered. "What did you mean?" Alma hesitated, then handed her a steaming mug. "Before I left, I checked the old maintenance logs. Cameras from the West Wing were tampered with. Same day, your father died 5 years ago." Olivia's stomach clenched. "My father's death was an accident." "That's what they wanted you to believe," Alma said softly. "But the footage I saw, there was a woman near the scaffolding minutes before it collapsed. Vanessa Price." The mug slipped from Olivia's hands and shattered. "Vanessa? She was just an intern then, working PR for Hale Dynamics. She fought with your father that morning. He threatened to report her for stealing corporate files. He never got the chance." Olivia pressed her shaking hands to her temples. "Oh my God." Alma reached for a small metal box beneath the table and set it down. "I kept this. Copy of the footage, and a few other things Mrs. Hale left behind before she passed." "Mrs. Hale? Nathan's mother?" Alma nodded. "She suspected her son was being blackmailed. She told me, if anything happens, make sure Olivia knows the truth." The words struck Olivia like thunder. "She knew about me?" Alma smiled sadly. "She said you reminded her of herself. Strong, too kind for this world." The kettle whistled sharply. Alma turned to pour more tea, but Olivia's gaze caught movement outside the rain-streaked window. Headlights. A car had pulled up the dirt road. 2 silhouettes stepped out. "Alma," she whispered, "someone's here." Alma peeked through the curtain and cursed under her breath. "Tom Barrett and another guard. They must have tracked my car's GPS." Olivia's pulse spiked. "What do we do?" Alma grabbed the metal box and shoved it into Olivia's bag. "There's a back trail through the dunes. Leads to the old lifeguard tower. Go now." "What about you?" "I'll stall them. Go before they see you." Olivia hesitated, tears burning her eyes. "Thank you." Alma squeezed her hand. "You bring the truth to light, baby girl. Don't let them bury you like they buried your father." Outside, the pounding rain swallowed every sound except the echo of Olivia's footsteps. Behind her, a man's shout cut through the storm, followed by the crash of a door breaking open. And then, one gunshot split the night, sending a scream that would haunt Olivia for the rest of her life. The gunshot echoed through the storm like the sky itself had cracked. Olivia froze halfway down the dunes, heart hammering against her ribs. "Alma?" she screamed, but the wind swallowed her voice. Another flash of lightning illuminated the cottage. One window shattered, the door swinging open. She wanted to run back to help, but instinct screamed louder. Alma's words rang in her ears. "Bring the truth to light." She stumbled through the sand, clutching the soaked leather bag that held the metal box. Each gust of wind stung her face like shards of glass. The beach stretched endlessly before her, the Pacific roaring like an angry god. Her wet gown tangled around her legs. Every step felt heavier than the last. Finally, the outline of the old lifeguard tower appeared ahead, weather-beaten, half-collapsed, a skeleton against the storm. Olivia climbed the wooden steps, gripping the railing for balance. Inside, the tower smelled of salt and rust. She set the bag down, catching her breath, then opened the metal box. Inside were 3 flash drives, a folded letter sealed with wax, and a silver locket. Her trembling fingers opened the letter first. "To whoever finds this, if you are reading, the truth has already been buried by greed. Vanessa Price has leverage over my son Nathan. She knows about the offshore accounts and the death that was never reported. I fear she will destroy him and anyone who gets close. Protect the woman he married. She will need courage to survive what's coming. Helen Hale. Tears blurred Olivia's vision. The locket slipped from her hand, swinging open to reveal a tiny photo. Helen Hale holding a newborn baby. On the back, engraved words, "For the one who brings light where I could not." Her chest ached with grief and confusion. Helen had known everything. She had tried to warn them. Below, headlights flashed again, 3 vehicles this time, crawling along the beach. Olivia ducked instinctively, pulling the bag close. She could hear voices through the rain. "Check the tower," one shouted. She grabbed the flash drives, tucking them beneath her dress. If they caught her, she needed proof hidden. A sudden cramp shot through her stomach. Pain twisted up her spine. She gasped, doubling over. "No, please, not now," she whispered. Her water hadn't broken, but the pressure was unbearable. The baby kicked hard. She bit down a sob. Footsteps on the stairs. The wood groaned. She scanned the dark room, no exits except the window. Her eyes darted to the ocean below, the tide foaming high against the posts. "Search up there!" She dragged herself toward the window. Rain whipped into her face, soaking her hair. Below, waves crashed violently. Still, she climbed onto the sill, clutching the frame with one shaking hand and the bag with the other. "Stop! Don't move!" a man shouted behind her. She turned. Tom Barrett stood in the doorway, gun raised, eyes wild. "Nathan just wants to talk," he said. "Come down, Olivia." Her tears mixed with rain. "Talk? After you killed her?" He flinched. "I didn't." Another crack of thunder drowned his words. And when lightning flashed again, Olivia was gone, leaving Tom staring out into the raging sea, believing he had just watched the pregnant wife of Nathan Hale disappear into the storm forever. The cold slammed into Olivia like a wall when she hit the water. Salt filled her mouth, her lungs burning as waves tossed her like a rag doll. She fought to surface, coughing and gasping, the roar of the ocean deafening. Lightning split the sky, revealing the shattered tower above her. Tom's silhouette leaned over the rail, shouting her name, but another wave crashed and dragged her under again. She kicked hard, breaking through the surface, clutching the soaked leather bag. The flash drives, her only proof, had to stay with her. Every instinct screamed to give up, but the faint flutter in her stomach reminded her why she couldn't. "Hold on, baby." She rasped, choking on seawater. "Just hold on." A current swept her toward the rocky inlet north of the beach. She clawed at the waves until her hands scraped against stone. Pain shot through her wrists as she pulled herself onto the rocks. The storm screamed around her, rain pounding, but she was alive. Barely. She crawled across the slick surface until she found a small cave tucked behind the boulders. Inside, the air was cold but still. She collapsed onto the sand, shivering, clutching her belly. The baby moved again, weak but steady, tears mixed with seawater on her cheeks. When she finally steadied her breathing, she opened the bag. The letter from Helen Hale was damp but legible. She pressed it against her chest. "You tried to protect me," she whispered. "Now I'll protect us both." Her fingers brushed something else inside, a phone wrapped in plastic, the emergency one Alma had hidden. The screen lit up, one bar of signal. She typed a single message to the only person who might still believe her. "Ryan Hale. It's Olivia. Alma's dead. They tried to kill me. I have proof." The message sent. The battery icon blinked red, then died. Minutes or hours passed before headlights swept across the rocks outside. Fear surged again. She hid deeper in the shadows, clutching the bag. A car door slammed. A flashlight beam pierced the rain. "Olivia," a man's voice called. It wasn't Tom, it was softer, familiar. "It's Ryan. I got your message. Please, if you can hear me, come out." Her body sagged with relief, but caution held her still. Then he stepped into the cave, soaked, panting, his doctor's jacket clinging to his shoulders. When he saw her, his expression broke. "Thank God." He knelt beside her, wrapping his coat around her trembling frame. "We have to get you warm," he said gently. The baby's heartbeat could slow in this cold. She stared into his eyes, the first warmth she'd felt in days. "They killed Alma. They think I'm dead." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Then that gives us time. Come on. My car's hidden up the trail. We'll go to my clinic." She leaned on him, her body aching but alive. The rain softened as they climbed toward the cliffs, every step a promise that she would fight back. Halfway up, Ryan paused. Below them, the surf hissed and frothed. and in its glow 2 distant figures watched from the dunes, their faces obscured by rain and headlights. One of them raised a phone, snapped a photo, and whispered into a radio. "She's alive." Ryan's car tore through the deserted backroads toward the city, wipers thrashing against the windshield. Olivia sat wrapped in his coat, shaking uncontrollably. Every muscle in her body ached, but the warmth of the heater and the rhythmic sound of tires on wet asphalt slowly steadied her. "You're safe now," Ryan said quietly, his eyes flicking between her and the road. "No one's safe," she murmured. "They know I'm alive? They'll come again." He glanced at her belly, concern tightening his jaw. "You and the baby need a hospital. I can take you to my clinic. No names, no records." "Ryan," she hesitated. "You believe me? About Nathan, about Vanessa?" He didn't answer right away. "I've suspected Vanessa for months. Transfers, encrypted calls, Nathan's behavior. But now that I've seen you like this, yeah, I believe you." Tears threatened again, but she bit them back. "Alma died because of this. I can't let it end there." Ryan nodded. "Then we'll expose them. Whatever's on those drives might be enough." They drove in silence until the lights of the small coastal town appeared ahead. Ryan parked behind an abandoned diner, guiding her through a side door that led to the clinic's basement entrance. Inside, sterile lights flickered over stainless steel tables and medical equipment. He handed her a blanket. "Sit. I'll check your vitals." Olivia obeyed, exhaustion catching up to her. Her reflection in the metal cabinet startled her, pale, hollow-eyed, a ghost of the woman she'd been at the gala. Ryan placed a stethoscope against her belly. "The baby's heartbeat is strong," he said softly. "You're lucky." "Luck?" she whispered. "Or something else?" He smiled faintly. "Maybe both." A knock at the back door made them both freeze. Ryan motioned for silence. He pulled a small pistol from the drawer, tension hardening his features. "Stay here." She gripped the blanket tighter as he disappeared into the hall. A minute passed. 2. Then she heard voices, one calm, one sharp. "Ryan Hale," a man said. "You're harboring a fugitive. Step aside." "She's a patient," Ryan replied coldly. "You need a warrant." "This isn't about warrants. It's about cleaning up Nathan's mess before it spreads." Olivia's blood ran cold. She peeked through the cracked door. Tom Barrett stood in the corridor, flanked by 2 security men in wet suits. Ryan blocked their path. "If you lay one hand on her," Tom smirked. "You think you can protect her? Nathan's already told the press she's unstable. They'll believe whatever we say." Ryan's voice was low but firm. "Then you'll have to shoot me first." Tom lifted his gun slightly. "That can be arranged." Before he could aim, the emergency lights went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Olivia felt for the flashlight in her bag, but Ryan's voice cut through the chaos. "Run, Olivia. Go through the east stairwell." She bolted, clutching her belly in the bag. Behind her, gunfire cracked, echoing down the metal hallway. Sparks rained from the ceiling as a bullet shattered a light fixture. She burst through the exit door into the storm, rain drenching her again. Tires screeched in the distance. A car engine roared, and as Olivia turned down the alley, headlights blinded her. Vanessa Price was behind the wheel, smiling like a predator who had just found her prey. Rain lashed against the asphalt as Olivia froze under the blinding headlights. The tires hissed inches away from her, spraying water across her face. Vanessa leaned out the driver's window, her crimson lips curling into a smirk. "Well," she purred, "I guess drowning didn't stick. You really are hard to kill." Olivia backed away, gripping the leather bag. Her body trembled, exhaustion mixing with fury. "You murdered Alma," she shouted over the storm. "You destroyed everything." Vanessa laughed, a cold, metallic sound swallowed by thunder. "Please, sweetheart." Alma chose her side. Wrong one, apparently. Before Olivia could respond, a second car screeched to a stop behind Vanessa's black SUV. Ryan jumped out, soaked and bleeding from a cut on his arm. "Get away from her, Vanessa." Vanessa sighed. "Oh, the good doctor, you always did play hero." She revved the engine, eyes flashing. "But this isn't your story." Ryan reached for Olivia's hand. "Come on!" They darted between buildings as Vanessa's SUV lunged forward, tires shrieking. Metal crunched against concrete when she clipped a dumpster. Sparks scattered. They sprinted down a narrow alley, puddles splashing underfoot. Ryan led her toward a stairwell leading to the subway tunnel below. Olivia gasped, struggling to keep up. "Where are we going?" "Somewhere she can't follow," he panted. They plunged into the dim tunnels. The smell of rust and damp earth filled the air. Olivia clutched her stomach as another contraction rippled through her. "Ryan, something's wrong," she whispered. He steadied her. "You're in early labor from the stress. Just a few minutes, I'll get us to safety." Above them, Vanessa's voice echoed faintly, mocking. "You can run, but you can't hide forever." Ryan found an old maintenance room and ushered her inside. He shut the door, locking it with a metal bar. The tiny room glowed under flickering yellow light. "You need rest," he said, kneeling beside her. Olivia's breathing slowed. "She killed my father, didn't she?" Ryan hesitated, then nodded. "Yes. The files from the drive confirm it. Jack Hartman discovered her laundering data for a rival firm. He tried to warn Helen Hale, but Vanessa got to him first." Olivia's heart clenched. "My father died because he tried to do the right thing." Ryan met her gaze. "And now it's your turn to finish what he started." Thunder boomed above, shaking dust from the ceiling. Olivia reached for the bag. "We can't just hide. We have evidence. We can take it to the police, the media. Someone will listen." Ryan nodded slowly. "There's a reporter, Maya Chen. She's been investigating Hale Dynamics for months. If we can reach her, she can expose everything." Suddenly, a loud clang echoed through the tunnel, the unmistakable slam of a manhole cover. Ryan's eyes widened. "She found us." The maintenance light flickered, then went dark. Footsteps approached. A beam of light sliced through the crack under the door. "Ryan Hale," Vanessa's voice cooed. "Step aside, the wife doesn't have to die yet." Ryan grabbed a metal wrench, positioning himself between Olivia and the door. "You'll have to go through me first." The door shuddered as something heavy struck it. Once, twice. Bolts rattled loose, and when the final blow came, the door burst open, revealing not Vanessa, but Nathan Hale himself, soaked, furious, and holding a gun. Nathan Hale stood in the doorway, rainwater dripping from his coat, his face carved with fury and confusion. The gun in his hand gleamed under the flickering tunnel light. "Step away from her, Ryan," he ordered. "Now." Ryan's grip on the wrench tightened. "Put the gun down, Nathan. You don't even know what's going on." "Oh, I know exactly what's going on," Nathan snapped. "My wife fakes her death, steals company property, and hides with my brother? Tell me, Ryan, how long have you been waiting to play savior?" Olivia's voice trembled. "Nathan, you're wrong. Vanessa's been lying to you. She killed Alma. She even—" "Don't," Nathan barked, eyes flashing. "Don't you dare say her name like that. Vanessa warned me you'd spin stories." Ryan stepped forward slowly, keeping his voice calm. "Nathan, listen to me. Vanessa murdered Jack Hartman. She's extorting you with offshore data. We have proof." "Proof?" Nathan's laugh was bitter. "You mean that fake evidence you cooked up to make me look guilty?" The tension thickened until even the dripping water seemed to stop. Olivia clutched her stomach, breathing shallowly. "Nathan, please," she whispered. "Look at me. You think I'd run if I wasn't terrified?" Something flickered in his expression, a moment of doubt, but then his phone buzzed. He glanced down at the screen. A text from Vanessa. "He's lying. The drives are fake. End this now." His jaw hardened again. "She warned me you'd say anything to save yourself." Ryan lowered the wrench slightly. "She's manipulating you, Nathan. She killed your mother's housekeeper tonight to bury the truth." Nathan's face twisted in pain. "Helen's letter was supposed to stay sealed," he muttered under his breath. Olivia's eyes widened. "You knew about the letter?" He hesitated. Too long. That hesitation told her everything. Ryan took another step. "You knew, didn't you? Your mother left a clause in her will. If the husband betrays the marriage vow, the assets revert to the wife. That's what this is about. Vanessa's making sure Olivia never reaches the board." Nathan's hand trembled, the gun wavering between them. "Stop talking." Before anyone could move, a sharp metallic clang echoed from above. Dust rained down. A voice shouted through the tunnel. Vanessa's voice, dripping with venom. "Nathan, don't let them fool you. They're using you." Her silhouette appeared at the top of the stairs, gun in hand, mascara streaked by rain. "She's been cheating with your brother. That's why they want you out." Nathan's head jerked toward Ryan, confusion and betrayal battling in his eyes. "Is that true?" Ryan didn't flinch. "I love her because she's good, Nathan. Something you stopped being." Nathan roared, raising the gun, finger trembling on the trigger. Olivia screamed, "Stop. If you kill him, you'll become everything Vanessa made you." Lightning flashed through the tunnel grates. Vanessa's shot rang out first. The bullet struck the wall inches from Nathan's head. Chaos erupted. Nathan dove for cover. Ryan pulled Olivia behind the generator, sparks flying as another bullet hit metal. Smoke filled the air, and when the haze cleared, Vanessa was gone. But so was Nathan, and the bag containing every piece of evidence that could save Olivia's life. The tunnels echoed with the fading sound of gunfire. Smoke hung thick, the air reeking of metal and rain. Olivia clutched Ryan's arm as her heartbeat thundered in her ears. "The bag," she gasped. "Nathan took it." Ryan steadied her, coughing through the haze. "We'll get it back, but first we have to get you somewhere safe." "No," she said, trembling. "That drive is everything. Proof of my father's murder, proof of everything Vanessa did. If Nathan gives it to her, it's over." He looked at her, jaw set. "Then we find him before she does." They followed the tunnel's curve to an old maintenance hatch that opened onto a drainage canal behind the city. Rain still poured from the night sky, turning the street into a river of lights. Sirens wailed in the distance, police, ambulances, maybe even hail security. Ryan led her into the shadows between warehouses. "I have a friend nearby," he said, "someone who can trace where Nathan's headed." 10 minutes later, they entered a narrow alley lit by neon signs from a laundromat. Ryan knocked 3 times on a metal door. It opened a crack to reveal a short, wiry man with dark hair and nervous eyes. "Ben Ortiz," Ryan said. "We need your help." Ben squinted at Olivia. "You brought the pregnant wife?" "Damn, Doc, you're really in deep. Can you trace a GPS signal from Hale's corporate car?" Ryan asked. Ben sighed. "Depends how much trouble I'm supposed to ignore." Ryan slipped him a flash drive. "Enough trouble to make this worth your while." Ben's fingers flew across his keyboard. "Got it. Hale's SUV's moving east on the Pacific Coast Highway. Stopped once near Topanga Canyon. Looks like he met someone there. Guess who?" "Vanessa," Olivia said flatly. "Bingo. They're together again." Her stomach twisted. He still doesn't see she's using him. Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder. "We can catch up if we take the service road. Ben, send the coordinates." Ben hesitated. "You sure about this? That guy's unstable. And the woman, she's poison." "I'm sure," Olivia said quietly. "They took my father, my peace, my life. They won't take my child too." Outside, Ryan hot-wired a small sedan Ben kept for emergencies. The tires splashed through puddles as they sped toward the canyon. The road twisted between cliffs, rain blurring the windshield. Halfway there, Olivia's phone buzzed. A new message from an unknown number. "He's not in control anymore." "She is." Ryan frowned. "Who sent that?" Before she could reply, headlights appeared behind them. Too close, too fast. A black SUV. Olivia's blood ran cold. "It's them." The SUV rammed their bumper. The car skidded. Ryan fought the wheel, tires screaming. "Hold on." Another hit sent them spinning toward the guardrail. Metal screamed. The world tilted sideways. Olivia screamed as glass shattered around her. The car slammed to a stop, hanging halfway over the cliff. Ryan's voice was hoarse. "Don't move." Outside, Vanessa stepped from the SUV, umbrella snapping open, her red lips glowing in the lightning. Nathan stood beside her, soaked, his face pale and lost. Vanessa smiled coldly. "You should have stayed dead, Olivia." And with a tilt of her head, she whispered to Nathan, "Do it." As he raised the gun, aiming straight at his wife. Rain poured in sheets, the wind howling through the canyon like a living thing. Nathan stood trembling at the edge of the cliff, gun aimed at Olivia. His eyes were red, torn between rage and confusion. "Do it," Vanessa whispered beside him, her voice smooth, seductive, poisonous. "She betrayed you, Nathan. She's the reason your company's collapsing." Olivia's breath came in shallow gasps. She sat trapped inside the wrecked car, shards of glass glittering around her, rain soaking her hair. "Nathan, listen to me," she pleaded. "Vanessa killed my father. She killed Alma. She's using you." "Shut up," he barked, voice cracking. "You're lying. Vanessa showed me the proof. You and Ryan." Ryan groaned beside her, blood streaking his forehead. "Nathan," he rasped, "you're being played. Look at the drive. Look at the timestamps. Vanessa forged them." Vanessa laughed softly. "Oh, please. You two rehearsed this, didn't you?" She leaned close to Nathan, her hand sliding up his arm. "She's manipulating you, just like she manipulated your mother. End this before she takes everything." Nathan's grip tightened. His finger hovered over the trigger. For a heartbeat, everything slowed. The storm, the thunder, even Olivia's pulse. She saw the broken man she'd once loved behind those haunted eyes. "You promised to protect me," she whispered. "And now you're proving her right, that love means nothing to you." Nathan's hand shook violently. I don't know what's true anymore. Ryan reached across the seat and grabbed Olivia's wrist. Brace yourself. Before she could ask why, Ryan slammed his shoulder against the passenger door. It burst open, the sudden motion jolting the car off balance. The vehicle lurched, teetering on the edge. Vanessa screamed. Nathan, she shouted. Shoot her now, or we're both done. Nathan's eyes widened. What are you talking about? Vanessa's calm facade cracked. You idiot! I'm the only thing standing between you and prison. You think they'll believe you didn't know? That single word, prison, cut through the storm. Nathan's expression changed, realization dawning like lightning. You set me up, he whispered. Vanessa took a step back, face twisting. You were useful. Now you're a liability. She raised her own gun. The shot exploded. Nathan staggered backward, clutching his shoulder. The weapon fell from his hand. Olivia screamed. Ryan kicked open his door and dragged Olivia out of the crumpled car as it slid closer to the cliff's edge. Metal groaned. Flames sparked from the engine. Vanessa fired again, the bullet grazing Ryan's arm. He pushed Olivia toward the rocky slope. Run. Nathan, bleeding but conscious, reached for his fallen gun and fired once. The bullet hit Vanessa square in the chest. Her eyes widened, mouth opening in silent disbelief before she crumpled to the ground. The rain washing blood from her red dress. Silence fell, broken only by thunder. Nathan slumped against the guardrail, pale and trembling. Olivia stood frozen, torn between horror and pity. Nathan's voice broke the stillness. She wasn't lying about everything, Liv. There's still something you don't know. What do you mean? She whispered. He looked at her, pain etched across his face. The baby, it's not just in danger, it's worth millions. Before Olivia could speak, headlights flared from the canyon road, black SUVs approaching fast, and this time, they weren't Nathan's. The roar of engines echoed through the canyon as the black SUVs screeched to a stop. Olivia's heartbeat quickened. She glanced at Nathan, slumped against the guardrail, blood seeping through his coat. Ryan crouched beside her, gripping his wounded arm. Those aren't security, he said grimly. That's Hale Dynamics' private cleanup team. Cleanup? Olivia whispered. They erase problems, he muttered. People, evidence, everything. Headlights sliced through the rain. 4 men in tactical jackets spilled out of the vehicles, guns drawn. One shouted over the wind, "Secure the scene!" No survivors. Nathan's eyes widened. Vanessa called them before she died. She wanted to make sure no one could talk. Ryan pulled Olivia toward the rocky slope. We have to move, now. But Olivia hesitated. The drives, she said, glancing at Nathan's bleeding form. He still has them. Ryan cursed under his breath. I'll get them. You find cover behind the rocks. Go! She ran, her wet shoes slipping on the mud, every step burning with fear and adrenaline. The rain turned the ground to sludge, the smell of smoke and oil thickened the air. She crouched behind a boulder, clutching her belly. Gunfire erupted. Nathan fired weakly at the advancing men, but they spread out, returning shots in bursts. One bullet hit the wrecked car, igniting the leaking fuel. Flames whooshed upward, lighting the canyon in orange. Ryan darted through the chaos, reaching Nathan. "Give me the drives," he shouted. Nathan's face was pale, pain distorting his voice. "Take them, and get her out. There's a USB inside my jacket, inner pocket." Ryan reached for it, pulling out the damp flash drive just as the wreck exploded. The shockwave knocked both men backward. Shrapnel tore through the rain, flames licking at the ground. Olivia screamed, covering her ears. "Ryan!" He rose unsteadily, coughing from the smoke. "Got it!" He stumbled toward her, but a guard blocked the path, aiming his rifle. Before the man could shoot, Nathan fired his last bullet. The guard dropped instantly. Nathan sagged to the ground, his gun clattering beside him. Ryan dragged Olivia toward the edge of the ravine, searching for any escape. "There's a drainage tunnel below the ridge," he shouted. They slid down the muddy slope just as bullets rained overhead. The tunnel entrance yawned before them, a narrow concrete pipe half hidden by weeds. Ryan shoved her inside first. Behind them, a voice barked through a megaphone. "Stop running! You can't hide forever!" They crawled through the darkness, the sound of rushing water guiding them deeper. Olivia's hands scraped against rough concrete. The cold seeped into her bones. "Ryan," she whispered. "What did Nathan mean? Why is the baby worth millions?" Ryan hesitated. Nathan developed a genetic algorithm, experimental tech tied to human DNA. Vanessa planned to sell it, Your baby's DNA is the key. That's why they can't let you live. Olivia's breath caught. They want my child. Yes, Ryan said softly, and we're going to make sure they never touch her. Light appeared ahead, the tunnel's end. But as they emerged into the open air, headlights flared once more, and standing in front of the cars was Liam Hale, Nathan's eldest brother, his expression unreadable, his pistol aimed straight at Ryan. The beam of Liam's headlights carved through the rain, freezing Olivia and Ryan in their tracks. The older Hale brother stood tall beside his car, coat whipping in the wind, pistol steady. His face was calm, but the calm of a storm's eye. "Liam," Ryan called out, voice hoarse. "Put the gun down. You don't understand." "I understand plenty," Liam replied. "2 people dead, my brother bleeding out somewhere, and you, my own brother, on the run with his pregnant wife." Olivia took a cautious step forward, shivering. "Liam, please. Nathan and Vanessa were behind everything. I have proof." "Proof," he repeated almost bitterly. "You think I haven't seen enough lies in this family? Vanessa's dead, Nathan's gone rogue, and now the press says my sister-in-law faked her own death. Do you realize what that's done to our name?" Ryan moved between them. "This isn't about reputation, it's about survival." Liam's jaw clenched. "Then prove it. Show me the evidence." Ryan pulled the flash drive from his pocket. "Everything's here. Financial records, security footage, the link between Vanessa and the offshore accounts." Liam extended his hand slowly. "Give it to me." Olivia hesitated. Something in his voice didn't sound right. Too calm, too rehearsed. "How did you even find us?" she asked. He smirked faintly. "You think I can't trace a clinic registered under my brother's name? The cleanup team reported movement. I followed." Ryan's expression darkened. "You're working with them." Liam didn't deny it. "I'm cleaning the family's mess. The board's terrified. If any of this goes public, the Hale empire collapses. So you'll kill us?" Olivia's voice trembled. "I'll do what I must to protect what's left," Liam said flatly. "Hand over the drive. I'll make sure this never touches daylight." Ryan shook his head. "You mean you'll bury it, like you buried the truth about Jack Hartman?" Liam's eyes flashed. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Oh, I think I do," Ryan said, stepping closer. "You knew about Vanessa's connection to Jack. You were the one who paid off the investigation." For the first time, Liam's composure cracked. His voice dropped to a whisper. "I did what I had to. My father demanded it." "Your father?" Olivia gasped. "Richard knew?" Liam nodded once. "He ordered the cover-up, said no scandal was worth the family's fortune. You were never supposed to find out." Olivia's knees buckled. The betrayal ran deeper than she imagined. Every Hale had blood on their hands. "You let my father die for your company's reputation," she whispered. Liam lowered his gun slightly, regret flickering across his face. It wasn't supposed to end like this. A new sound cut through the rain, the whine of approaching sirens. Police lights shimmered in the distance. Ryan seized the moment, grabbing Olivia's hand. "Run!" Liam shouted after them. "You can't outrun this," but didn't shoot. Instead, he turned toward his car and pulled out his phone. "Target heading east," he said coldly. "Notify the board. We're activating Protocol Red." Olivia and Ryan disappeared into the fog as engines roared behind them. And miles away, in a dark hospital room, Nathan Hale's eyes snapped open, alive, enraged, and whispering his wife's name. The steady beep of the heart monitor cut through the darkness of the hospital room. Nathan Hale blinked against the fluorescent light, disoriented, his shoulder burned, bandaged tightly. The rain outside tapped softly against the window like impatient fingers. A nurse leaned over him. "Mr. Hale, you're lucky to be alive," she said gently. "They found you by the canyon. You lost a lot of blood." Nathan's throat was dry. "Where's my wife?" he rasped. The nurse hesitated. "The police said she didn't survive the crash." He stared at her, confusion and disbelief twisting his features. "No, I saw her. She was alive." She gave him a sympathetic look before adjusting his IV and leaving the room. The door clicked shut. For a moment, only the rhythmic beep of the monitor filled the silence. Nathan lay still, piecing fragments of memory together. The gunfire, Vanessa's betrayal, the look in Olivia's eyes when she realized he'd been manipulated. Then he remembered the bag, the drives, Ryan. He swung his legs over the bed, wincing. Pain radiated down his arm, but determination pushed him upright. He needed answers. He needed control again. His phone, miraculously intact, sat on the bedside table. 24 missed calls from Liam, 3 from private security, and 1 from an unknown number. He opened it. "You're not in charge anymore." "They are." Attached was a live feed photo, Olivia and Ryan running through the rain. The timestamp read only 10 minutes earlier. Nathan's pulse spiked. "She's alive," he muttered, "and they're lying." He yanked out the IV and staggered toward the door. In the hallway, he nearly collided with a man in a black suit, one of his own security officers. "Sir, you shouldn't be up." "Get me a car," Nathan snapped, "and tell Liam to stand down, now." The guard frowned. "Sir, Liam gave orders." "I don't care what Liam said. He doesn't make decisions for me." The man hesitated just long enough for Nathan to push past him. Outside, thunder rolled again as Nathan stepped into the downpour, anger sharpening his focus. He wasn't just hunting Olivia anymore. He was hunting everyone who had turned his family into pawns. Meanwhile, miles away, Olivia and Ryan huddled in a deserted bus terminal near downtown Los Angeles. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The city smelled of wet concrete and gasoline. Ryan checked his watch. "We've got maybe an hour before they trace us again." Olivia's fingers trembled as she held the flash drive. "Liam said his father ordered the cover-up. That means this goes deeper than Vanessa." Ryan nodded grimly. "If the board's involved, every Hale brother's in danger, including Nathan." She looked up sharply. "Nathan doesn't deserve protection." "No," Ryan said softly, "but the truth does." Before she could respond, a shadow moved across the far wall. A man stepped from the darkness, hands raised. "Easy, it's me," Olivia gasped. "Maya?" The investigative reporter smiled faintly, rain dripping from her coat. "You two just became the biggest story in California. But if you want to survive, we need to get that evidence to air before sunrise." Ryan frowned. "And if we don't?" Maya's smile faded. "Then the Hales will erase you, like they erased your father." Behind them, unseen, a black car idled across the street, and Nathan Hale watched from the driver's seat, eyes burning with something far darker than love. The bus terminal buzzed with the low hum of fluorescent lights and the distant rumble of passing trains. Olivia sat on a cold metal bench, clutching the flash drive to her chest, while Ryan and Maya argued in hushed tones by the vending machines. "We can't just walk into a newsroom," Ryan said. "The Hales own half the media in this state. They'll kill the story before it airs." Maya crossed her arms. "Not the station I work for. My editor's waiting. We upload this drive, and it hits national TV before sunrise. After that, no one can bury it." Ryan's jaw tightened. "You're risking Olivia's life." "I'm saving it," Maya countered. "Once the public sees the files, she becomes too visible to kill." Olivia's voice was soft but steady. "I'll do it. I'm tired of hiding. My father died for the truth. I won't let them silence me too." Ryan turned to her, eyes filled with worry. "You're in no condition," she cut him off. "You can either help me or watch them win." A pause hung between them before Ryan exhaled, defeated. "Fine, but we stay together." Maya nodded. "Good. My car's outside." They slipped out into the rain-soaked night, the city lights shimmering off wet pavement. Olivia pulled the hood of Ryan's coat over her head, her breath visible in the chill. The streets were mostly empty, save for the echo of distant sirens. As they reached Maya's car, Olivia froze. Across the street, a black sedan idled, its headlights off. A figure sat behind the wheel, motionless. Ryan followed her gaze. "Get in the car, now." They climbed in quickly. Maya started the engine, tires splashing through puddles as they sped onto the freeway. But in the side mirror, headlights flared. The black sedan was following. Maya cursed. "We've got company." Ryan twisted in his seat. "Lose them." "I'm trying." She veered down an exit ramp toward the industrial district, tires screeching. The sedan stayed close, matching every turn. Olivia gripped the seat. "It's him," she whispered. "Nathan." Ryan's stomach dropped. "He's tracking the drive." Maya's hands tightened on the wheel. "Then we ditch it, copy the files, upload from a safe server." She pulled into a dark alley behind an old newspaper printing facility. "Stay here," she said, jumping out and running toward the back door. Ryan followed, covering Olivia with his jacket. Inside, the building smelled of ink and dust. Maya booted up an ancient computer. "It's slow, but it'll work." She inserted the flash drive, her fingers flying over the keys. Olivia hovered beside her. "How long?" "5 minutes." Footsteps echoed outside, heavy, deliberate. Ryan looked toward the door. "We don't have 5. He grabbed a wrench from the floor, motioning for Olivia to hide. The door handle rattled. Then, a single gunshot shattered the lock. The door flew open. Nathan stood there, soaked and trembling, eyes wild. "Enough running," he said. "You think you can destroy me with a few files?" Maya hit enter. Upload complete. Nathan fired. The monitor exploded in sparks. But when the smoke cleared, the upload bar on the screen still glowed, 100%, and somewhere in the distance, every news alert in Los Angeles began to buzz. The old computer sparked and hissed, smoke curling into the air. Nathan lowered the gun, eyes locked on the glowing monitor as headlines began flashing across the screen. Hale Dynamics scandal, offshore accounts, murder cover-up, and genetic data theft. Maya smiled through the chaos. "Congratulations, Nathan," she said breathlessly. "You're national news." "Shut it off," Nathan shouted, firing another shot into the CPU. Sparks rained across the floor, but the broadcast had already spread. Somewhere outside, car alarms wailed as phones buzzed with breaking news alerts. Ryan stepped forward. "It's over, Nathan. Everything's out." Nathan turned the gun on him, face twisted in fury. "No, you think this ends because of one upload? You don't understand the kind of power my family has." Olivia rose from behind a stack of boxes, soaked and trembling but defiant. "Your power built on lies is gone. The world will finally see who you really are." His eyes flicked to her belly. "And that baby," he spat, "will grow up hating my name because of you." "You did that yourself," she said quietly. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then the building's emergency alarm blared, red lights spinning. Police sirens echoed outside, drawing closer. Maya looked at Olivia. "We have to go. Now." Ryan moved toward the back exit, but Nathan grabbed Olivia's arm, pulling her toward him. "You're not walking away again." Pain shot through her shoulder as she struggled. "Let me go." Nathan's grip tightened, desperation bleeding through his rage. "You think you can take everything from me? My company, my brothers, my life?" Ryan lunged, tackling Nathan. The gun clattered across the floor. Both men crashed into a pile of crates, wood splintering under their weight. Olivia staggered backward, clutching her belly as contractions seized her again. Maya rushed to her side. "You're in labor," she said, panic rising. "We have to get you to a hospital." "I can't." Olivia gasped. "He'll follow us." Ryan punched Nathan hard, sending him sprawling. "Go," he shouted. "I'll handle him." Maya wrapped an arm around Olivia and helped her toward the exit. Rain poured in through the broken roof as they stumbled into the alley. Blue and red police lights flashed at the far end of the street. Inside, Nathan crawled toward the fallen gun. Ryan saw the movement and dove, kicking it away, but Nathan swung a metal pipe, striking Ryan's leg. Pain ripped through him. Nathan lunged again, not grabbing the weapon. Outside, Maya waved frantically. "Over here! LAPD!" Officers rushed forward, weapons raised. Olivia collapsed against the wall, breathing hard. "Ryan's still in there," she cried. A final gunshot rang out. The police stormed inside. Olivia tried to follow, but her body gave out. She fell to her knees, crying out as another contraction tore through her. Maya knelt beside her, tears streaming. "Hold on, Olivia. You're safe now. They've got him." But when the officers returned, their faces were grave. "We found one man down," one said quietly. Olivia's heart stopped. "Ryan?" Before she could speak again, a paramedic shouted from inside the building. "We need backup. The shooter's gone." And somewhere in the chaos, Nathan Hale vanished into the storm. Rain pounded against the ambulance roof as it sped through downtown Los Angeles. Olivia lay on the stretcher, her body trembling, contractions hitting harder with each mile. Maya sat beside her, gripping her hand. "You're almost there, okay? Just breathe." "I can't," Olivia gasped. "Not without Ryan." "Where is he?" The paramedic kept his voice calm. "We're searching the area, ma'am. LAPD's got helicopters out. He might have been taken by the shooter." Tears streamed down her cheeks. "That shooter is my husband." The paramedic exchanged a startled glance with Maya. "Then we'll find him faster," he said, turning his focus back to the monitors. Minutes later, the ambulance pulled into St. Augustine Medical Center, the same hospital where Ryan worked. Nurses rushed Olivia inside, voices overlapping as they transferred her to the maternity ward. Dr. Patel, the same physician who had once warned her about stress, appeared in scrubs. "Olivia, it's okay. You're safe now. We're going to deliver this baby tonight." Maya squeezed her shoulder. "I'll stay right outside. Just focus on her." The contraction hit hard. Olivia cried out, gripping the rails of the bed. Sweat mingled with rainwater on her forehead. Amid the chaos, her mind replayed everything. Vanessa's death, Nathan's betrayal, Ryan's last words. "Go, I'll handle him." She whispered into the sterile air, "Please be alive." Hours blurred into minutes. At 3:47 a.m., a baby's cry pierced the storm outside. The sound shattered every wall of fear in Olivia's heart. Dr. Patel smiled beneath her mask. "It's a girl." They placed the tiny newborn in Olivia's arms, warm, fragile, perfect. Tears of exhaustion and joy flooded her eyes. "Hi, my little light," she whispered. "You made it." Maya entered quietly, holding her phone. "Olivia, look." On screen, every news channel carried the same headline: Hale Dynamics CEO missing after corporate scandal exposed. Underneath, another line scrolled: Public demands investigation into Hale family cover-ups. Olivia looked down at her daughter. "Your grandfather can rest now," she said softly. "The truth's finally out." But peace was short-lived. A nurse entered, pale-faced. "Miss Hartman, we have a problem. There's a man in the lobby. He says he's family and insists on seeing you." Maya's expression darkened. "Nathan?" The nurse shook her head. "No, he says his name is Liam Hale." Olivia's stomach clenched. "Tell him I can't." Before she could finish, the door opened. Liam stepped inside, still in his rain-soaked suit, eyes hollow but intense. "Olivia," he said softly, "I'm not here to hurt you." Dr. Patel moved protectively between them. "This is a private room, sir." Liam raised his hands. "Please, I came to warn her." He looked at Olivia, voice urgent. "Nathan's alive. He's not running, he's hunting, and he's not alone." Maya frowned. "What do you mean, not alone?" Liam swallowed hard. "He's with our father. Richard's been funding everything from the start, the experiments, the cover-ups, even Vanessa's blackmail, and now he wants the baby." Olivia's heart stilled. "My daughter?" Liam nodded grimly. "They're coming for her tonight." The hospital lights flickered once, then the entire building went dark, and somewhere down the hallway, a baby started crying. Emergency lights flickered to life, bathing the hospital in a dim red glow. The wail of the backup generators mixed with distant shouts from the staff. Olivia clutched her newborn tighter, every muscle trembling. "What's happening?" Dr. Patel grabbed a flashlight. "Power's out across the West Wing. Stay here, I'll find out what's going on." "No," Maya said sharply. "No one leaves her alone." She positioned herself between the door and Olivia's bed, phone raised like a weapon. Liam stepped closer, voice low. "They've cut the power to isolate us. My father's men are already in the building." Olivia's heartbeat thundered in her ears. "You said he wants the baby. Why?" Liam hesitated. "Hale Dynamics developed a biometric security algorithm tied to bloodlines. Your child's DNA can unlock the system. Richard wants it before the government seizes the servers." Maya's eyes widened. "He's using a baby as a password?" "Yes," Liam said grimly. "That's why Vanessa and Nathan were desperate. But now Richard's taking control himself." A crash echoed from the hallway, metal clattering, footsteps pounding. Liam turned to the door. "We have to move now." Dr. Patel returned, breathless. "Security's down, the elevators are dead, and the stairwell's crawling with men in tactical gear." Maya pointed to the emergency exit sign above. "Roof access?" Patel nodded. "It connects to the heliport. There's a maintenance ladder. If we can reach it, we can climb down to the parking lot." Olivia wrapped the blanket tighter around her daughter. "Let's go." They moved quickly through the corridor, red lights casting eerie shadows on the walls. Olivia's legs were weak, but adrenaline pushed her forward. Liam led the way, gun drawn, while Maya followed behind with her phone's flashlight. Halfway down the hall, a voice boomed over the intercom. Smooth, commanding. "Olivia Hartman, this is Richard Hale. Hand over the child and no one else has to die." Olivia froze. "He's here." Liam's jaw clenched. "Keep moving." They reached the stairwell, only to find two men blocking the door, armed, masked, efficient. Liam fired first, the gunshots deafening in the narrow space. One man fell, the other fled down the stairs. Patel gasped. "We can't go down that way." "Then up," Liam said. They climbed, each step echoing with urgency. Olivia held the baby close, whispering lullabies to keep her calm. Her arms ached, but she didn't stop. On the roof, the rain returned, hard and cold. Helicopter blades thumped in the distance. A black chopper hovered over the hospital's east pad, searchlights sweeping. Maya pointed. "That's them." Liam aimed his gun at the approaching light. "We need cover." They ducked behind an air vent as ropes dropped from the helicopter. Dark figures rappelled down, Richard Hale's private guards. Then a second helicopter appeared, smaller, faster. Its spotlight cut across the roof, blinding everyone. Over the roar of rotors, a familiar voice shouted through a loudspeaker. Steady, protective, alive. Olivia, get down! Olivia's breath caught. Ryan? The smaller helicopter descended sharply, forcing the guards to scatter. And as Ryan Hale leaped from the open door, gun drawn and eyes blazing, his father's voice boomed through the storm. You're betraying your own blood, son. And the two men finally faced each other across the rain-soaked roof. The storm howled across the rooftop, rain slashing sideways under the helicopter's blades. Olivia crouched behind the vent, clutching her baby as wind whipped her hair across her face. Maya shielded her with one arm, while Liam aimed toward the oncoming guards. Ryan landed hard on the wet concrete, gun in hand, his soaked jacket plastered to his shoulders. He glared across the chaos at the older man stepping out of the black chopper. Richard Hale, tall, silver-haired, and terrifyingly calm in a trench coat. Son, Richard called over the roar of the rotors, you've made a grave mistake. Ryan took a step forward, his voice sharp. The mistake was ever believing you cared about this family. Richard's expression didn't change. Everything I've done was to protect our legacy. That child, he pointed toward Olivia, belongs to the Hale bloodline. She's property of the company I built. She's a human being, Ryan shouted, and you turned her into a calculation. Richard sighed, disappointment bleeding into his tone. You sound just like your mother before she betrayed me. Lightning cracked overhead. Olivia's breath caught. Liam turned to Richard, fury etched across his face. You lied to us, father. You said we were saving the company, not trafficking genetic data. Richard's eyes narrowed. Stand down, Liam. You've already proven too soft. Soft? Liam barked. You covered up murder. The guards advanced, weapons raised. Ryan fired first, striking one in the shoulder. Maya dragged Olivia toward a nearby maintenance shack. Bullets sparked off the metal around them. Ryan ducked behind an air duct, reloading. Liam, he yelled. Get them out. Liam nodded, covering their escape. He shot out the floodlight above, plunging the roof into near darkness. For a brief second, the advantage was theirs, until Richard lifted his hand, signaling his men to hold fire. You can't win this, Ryan, Richard called. You don't have the stomach for what's necessary. Ryan stepped from behind cover, chest heaving. You're right, I have something better. Conscience. He fired again. The bullet grazed Richard's arm, spinning him backward. Chaos erupted. Guards swarmed the roof, returning fire. Liam was hit in the leg, collapsing beside the stairwell. Maya screamed, trying to drag him out of the line of fire. Olivia pressed herself against the wall of the shack, shielding her crying baby. Her pulse roared in her ears. Not now, she thought. Please, not again. Ryan sprinted toward her, bullets whizzing past. He reached her side, crouching low. We need to get to the helicopter. I can fly it. She looked at him, terrified. What about your father? Ryan's voice was cold steel. He made his choice. He lifted her up, cradling the baby against her chest as they ran across the slick roof. Richard shouted something lost in the storm, then raised a small remote from his coat. Ryan saw the blinking red light too late. Get down. The explosion tore through the far side of the rooftop, sending shockwaves across the concrete. Shards of metal and glass rained down. The smaller helicopter shuddered, engines screaming, smoke pouring from its tail. And as it began to spin out of control, Ryan threw himself over Olivia and the child, while Richard Hale watched, smiling as his own son's aircraft spiraled toward the burning city below. The helicopter spun in a violent spiral, smoke trailing through the storm-dark sky. Olivia screamed as Ryan wrapped his arms around her and the baby, shielding them from shattering glass. The world became a blur of fire, wind, and fear. Then, a deafening crash. Metal twisted. The aircraft hit the hospital's lower parking structure with a thunderous boom that shook the ground for blocks. Sparks scattered across the concrete as alarms blared. For a moment there was only silence, broken by the faint cry of a newborn. Ryan groaned, blood trickling from his temple. Are you? I'm fine, Olivia gasped, clutching the baby. She's breathing. Smoke thickened around them. The helicopter was crumpled, but miraculously intact enough to have saved them. Rain hissed through the holes in the roof, cooling the flames. Ryan looked toward the stairs. We have to move before the fire spreads. They crawled out of the wreckage, glass crunching beneath their knees. Olivia's arms trembled as she held the baby close. Across the roofline above, flashlights bobbed. Richard's men were searching. Maya's voice came faintly from a nearby stairwell. "Olivia! Ryan!" They staggered toward her. Maya, drenched and shaking, pulled them into the shadows of the stairwell. "Liam's alive," she whispered. "He's hurt, but I got him inside the ambulance bay. The police are finally coming." Ryan nodded, wiping soot from his face. "Good. We need to get the baby somewhere safe." But Olivia's instincts screamed danger. "Richard won't stop, not while he's alive." Maya looked at her with grim certainty. "Then we make sure the world stops him first." The broadcast reached national TV, but there's more data in that drive. Financial links, documents tying him to illegal human testing. We leak it all. Ryan pulled the damaged flash drive from his pocket. The casing was cracked, wires exposed. "It's half corrupted," he said. "We'll need tech support to recover it." "I know someone," Maya replied. "An old contact at the Los Angeles Times. He owes me." Sirens wailed closer now, their red lights flickering through the haze. For a brief second, Olivia allowed herself to believe it might be over. She cradled her baby, whispering, "We're almost free." But then, gunfire. Bullets ricocheted off metal beams. The police shouted orders outside. A figure emerged from the smoke. Richard Hale, coat torn, eyes burning like wildfire. He held a pistol steady, unflinching. "You think you've beaten me?" he called. "I own the system. Arrest me, and I'll buy the judge before sunrise." Ryan stepped forward. "Then this isn't about courts anymore," Richard smirked. "Still trying to play hero, son? You can't save them all." He aimed directly at Olivia. Ryan dove in front of her as the gun went off. The blast echoed through the parking structure. Richard stumbled backward, shock flashing across his face. Blood bloomed through his coat. Liam stood behind him, gun smoking in his hand. "You were wrong," Liam said quietly. "Family isn't something you control. It's something you protect." Richard fell to his knees, eyes wide before collapsing completely. Olivia clutched Ryan, sobbing with relief. The baby wailed in her arms, the sound raw and alive. But before anyone could breathe, a second explosion rocked the garage. The burning helicopter's fuel tank erupted, fire chasing oxygen, and a steel beam came crashing down toward them. The explosion ripped through the parking structure, fire bursting upward like a living creature. Ryan barely had time to pull Olivia and the baby behind a concrete pillar as the steel beam crashed where they had stood seconds earlier. The shockwave sent dust and glass raining over them. Maya screamed from across the bay, shielding Liam's wounded leg. "We have to get out of here before this whole floor collapses." Ryan coughed through the smoke. "Back route. There's a service tunnel under the ambulance ramp." Olivia's ears rang, but she clutched the baby close, whispering softly to keep her calm. The infant's cries were drowned out by the roaring fire. "Please, hold on, sweetheart," Olivia murmured. Liam limped forward, leaning on Maya. His face was pale, but his grip on the gun was steady. "Richard's men won't stop just because he's dead. The board will erase everything to save the company." Ryan nodded grimly. "Then we make sure the evidence lives longer than we do." He handed the damaged flash drive to Maya. "Find your contact, get it uploaded again." "What about you?" she asked. He glanced toward the inferno. "We'll draw their attention. You run." Maya hesitated, then took the drive. "Don't die, Hale. I've got too much invested in this story." She helped Liam toward the exit as Ryan turned back to Olivia. "Can you walk?" "I can try," she said, her voice breaking. They moved through the crumbling structure, firelight flickering across their faces. Concrete dust mixed with rain and smoke. Sirens echoed closer, distorted by the chaos. A sudden rumble shook the floor. Cracks split across the ceiling, chunks of debris falling around them. Ryan pushed Olivia through the tunnel entrance, just as another explosion tore through the far wall. Heat slammed into them like a fist. Inside the tunnel, it was dark and wet, the air thick with smoke. Water dripped from overhead pipes. Olivia stumbled, nearly falling. Ryan caught her, his hand warm against her back. "Almost there," he whispered. They emerged into the open near the hospital's back lot, rain extinguishing stray flames. The sound of helicopters still rumbled overhead, but this time it was news crews, not Richard's men. Cameras flashed through the storm. Maya appeared at the far gate, waving frantically. "Ryan! Olivia! Over here!" They ran toward her. Olivia's legs wobbled with exhaustion, but she refused to stop. The baby stirred, letting out a tiny whimper that reminded her why she couldn't collapse. Then, movement in the shadows. A man stepped out from behind an overturned ambulance, face hidden beneath a hood. He raised a gun. Ryan saw him first. "Down," he shouted, tackling Olivia to the ground. A gunshot cracked through the rain. The man staggered backward, clutching his chest. Liam stood behind him, gun raised, smoke curling from the barrel. "Thought I told you to leave," he grunted. Ryan smirked weakly. "You're hard to get rid of." Liam half smiled. "Family's stubborn that way." Police sirens blared as squad cars surrounded the burning structure. Officers swarmed the area, shouting commands. For the first time, Olivia allowed herself to breathe. But as paramedics rushed toward them, Ryan suddenly went pale. Blood seeped through his shirt, pooling beneath his hand. "Ryan," Olivia cried, clutching him. He tried to speak, voice fading. "It's okay, you're safe now." And as his head fell against her shoulder, Olivia screamed his name. While behind her, an officer lifted his radio and said coldly, "The father's still missing." Rain fell softer now, more like a whisper than a storm. The chaos of the night had settled into an eerie quiet around St. Augustine's parking lot. Red and blue police lights flickered across the wet pavement. Olivia sat in the back of an ambulance, her newborn swaddled against her chest. Her eyes never left Ryan, lying pale on the stretcher beside her. Paramedics worked fast, pressing gauze to the gunshot wound near his ribs. "Pulse weak but steady," one shouted. "Please," Olivia whispered, voice cracking. "Don't let him die." Liam limped up, arm wrapped in bandages, his suit torn and dirty. "They're airlifting him to trauma," he said gently. "He saved all of us." Maya appeared beside him, holding her phone. "The upload went viral," she said. "Every network's playing the story. The FBI just confirmed an investigation into Hale Dynamics. Richard Hale's entire empire is collapsing." Olivia nodded faintly, tears mixing with rain. "It's over." But Maya shook her head. "Not yet. They still haven't found Nathan." At his name, Olivia's stomach twisted. "He's alive?" Cameras picked up footage of him leaving the hospital's north exit 10 minutes before the explosion, Maya said. "He's gone underground." Olivia looked down at her daughter, sleeping peacefully. "He won't stop. He'll come for her." Liam clenched his jaw. "Not while I'm breathing." Police officers approached, asking questions, collecting statements. Maya handled them while paramedics loaded Ryan into a medevac helicopter. Olivia wanted to go with him, but one of the medics stopped her. "We'll keep him stable. He's in good hands, ma'am." She watched helplessly as the helicopter lifted into the night sky, the blades stirring the wet air. "Come back to me," she whispered. By dawn, the fire was out and the storm had passed. Olivia was taken to a temporary safe house arranged by federal agents. The small, plain apartment felt too quiet after everything that had happened. Liam stayed on guard near the window while Maya scrolled through live news feeds. "Every outlet's covering it," she said. "Richard's offshore accounts, Vanessa's death, the genetic project, all of it. The public's demanding justice." Olivia sat at the table, feeding her baby. "Justice doesn't bring people back," she murmured. "Alma, my father. Ryan might still—" Her voice trailed off. Liam turned toward her, his expression softening. "He'll make it. He's stronger than any of us." Then his phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and frowned. "Unknown number." Maya leaned over. "Don't answer." But the text flashed across the display before he could ignore it. "You took my father's place. Now I'll take yours." Olivia's blood ran cold. "Nathan?" Liam's eyes darted to the window. Across the street, a black car idled. The tint was too dark to see inside, but a faint glow illuminated the driver's face, just long enough to reveal Nathan's eyes watching them. "Get down!" Liam shouted, shoving Olivia to the floor as gunfire shattered the window. Glass rained across the room. The baby screamed. Maya dove behind the couch, pulling her camera bag close. "We need to move." Olivia cradled her daughter, heart pounding. "He won't stop until one of us is gone." And outside, Nathan's voice crackled through a hidden speaker on the car roof. "You took everything from me, Olivia, so now I'm coming for what's mine." Gunfire tore through the safe house windows, splintering wood and glass. Olivia threw herself to the floor, curling protectively over her baby while shards rained around them. Liam returned fire through the blinds, each shot echoing in the confined room. "Nathan's lost it!" Maya shouted, crouching behind the overturned couch. "We need an exit." "The back alley," Liam barked. "Go now." Olivia clutched the baby against her chest and crawled toward the kitchen, her heartbeat roaring louder than the gunshots. The smell of gunpowder filled the air. A bullet ripped through the refrigerator, sending metal fragments flying. Maya grabbed Olivia's arm and pulled her toward the back door. Liam covered them, firing until his gun clicked empty. "Go! I'll catch up!" Olivia hesitated. "Liam, go!" he roared. Maya kicked open the door, and the two women stumbled into the rain-slick alley. The baby whimpered softly, her cries barely audible over the chaos. Olivia's mind raced. He found us again. He'll never stop. They darted between dumpsters, breath ragged. Maya spotted a narrow staircase leading up to a fire escape. "This way." They climbed quickly, the metal steps slick beneath their feet. From below, Nathan's voice echoed through the alley, calm yet chilling. "You can't run from me forever, Liv. This doesn't end until you give me what's mine." At the top of the fire escape, Maya spotted a neon sign flickering from the building next door, Rosemont Hotel. "We can hide there," she said, pushing open the rooftop door. They slipped inside the hotel's maintenance hallway, dripping wet and shaking. Olivia leaned against the wall, trying to steady her breathing. "He'll kill anyone who helps us." Maya pressed her phone to her ear. "FBI hotline? They'll trace him if I can stay connected long enough." But the line went dead. Static buzzed through the phone, followed by a distorted male voice. "You really think the Bureau can protect you? They work for me." Maya's eyes widened. He hacked the line. Olivia's knees went weak. "He's everywhere." The baby began crying again, louder this time. Olivia rocked her gently, whispering, "Shh, my love. Mommy's here." But her voice trembled with terror. Liam burst through the rooftop door moments later, limping and soaked in sweat. "We have to move." "He's not alone. 2 SUVs just pulled up." "Where's the baby's car seat?" Maya asked. "Forget it," Liam said. "We don't have time." He grabbed a maintenance keycard from the wall and swiped the elevator panel. "We'll take service routes through the hotel's lower level. Underground tunnel connects to the subway." They piled into the freight elevator, hearts racing. The doors closed, sealing them in darkness. The baby's soft coos echoed between metal walls. For a moment, silence fell. Then, ding, the elevator stopped halfway down. The emergency light flickered on. Olivia's stomach dropped. Maya hit the button repeatedly. "It's jammed." A faint scrape echoed above them, metal on metal. Liam looked up, weapon ready. "Someone's on the roof of the elevator," he said. The hatch above slid open. A hand reached through the gap, gloved, deliberate. A familiar voice drifted down, smooth and cold. "Hello, Liv." Nathan's face appeared in the dim red light, eyes wild and gleaming. "Did you really think you could hide my family from me?" Nathan's face leered down through the elevator hatch, illuminated by the flickering red light. Rainwater dripped from his hair, streaking blood across his cheek. "You should have stayed with me, Olivia," he said, voice low and dangerous. "We could have fixed everything." Olivia's grip tightened around her baby. "You killed people, Nathan. There's no fixing that." He laughed softly, tapping the metal frame with his pistol. "Funny, you talk about morality while carrying the only thing that can save the Hale legacy." Liam raised his gun. "Step back, Nathan. Big brother," Nathan sneered. "Always pretending to protect the family when you were really protecting yourself." "Tell her, Liam. Tell her what you did with the data before you blamed me." Liam's face went pale. "Don't listen to him," he warned. "Oh, she should," Nathan said, eyes glinting. "Our dear Liam helped fund the genetic project, didn't you? You thought you could sell it first and frame me later." Maya gasped. "That's a lie." Nathan's smile was razor sharp. "Then why did the accounts trace back to his name?" Olivia's heart hammered. "Liam?" He hesitated just long enough. "I did what I had to keep Richard from destroying everything, but I never hurt anyone." Nathan's voice dropped to a whisper. "You covered up the truth just like him. Don't act innocent." Before Liam could reply, Nathan dropped through the hatch, landing hard on the elevator floor. The impact rattled the small space. Maya screamed as he swung the gun toward them. "Give me the child, and no one dies," he said. Liam lunged. The gun fired. The bullet ricocheted off the wall, grazing Maya's shoulder. She fell back, clutching her arm. Olivia screamed, shielding the baby. Nathan's voice was almost calm. "Every time you run, more people bleed. Don't make this harder." Liam tackled him, both men crashing into the side panels. The elevator shuddered violently. Sparks flew from the wiring above as Nathan slammed Liam's head against the metal wall. "Stop it!" Olivia cried. "There's a baby here." Nathan ignored her, rage overtaking reason. He shoved Liam backward, gun still in hand. Liam hit the control panel, sparks exploding around him. The elevator jolted, then started to drop. Olivia screamed. The floor lurched as the elevator plunged. Maya grabbed the railing, blood dripping from her fingers. Nathan and Liam wrestled on the floor, the gun sliding between them. "Do something!" Maya shouted. Liam kicked upward, hitting the emergency brake lever. The elevator screeched, slowing just before impact. It slammed to a stop between floors, throwing everyone to the ground. Nathan groaned, dazed but conscious. The gun skidded to Olivia's feet. She stared at it, trembling. "Live," Liam rasped. "Pick it up." Nathan lifted his head, smiling faintly through blood. "Go ahead, end it. You think you're better than me? Prove it." Olivia's hands shook as she aimed, tears streaming down her face. The baby whimpered softly, the only sound in the suffocating silence. "I'm done letting you control me," she whispered. Nathan smiled wider. "Then pull the trigger." She closed her eyes, but before she could fire, the elevator roof tore open, and a spotlight flooded in. SWAT officers shouting, "Hands up!" as Nathan lunged at her one last time. The SWAT team's spotlight flooded the cramped elevator, blinding everyone. "Hands where we can see them," the lead officer shouted. Nathan froze for half a second, just enough time for Liam to shove him backward. The gun flew from Nathan's grip, skittering across the floor. "Get Olivia out!" Liam yelled. 2 officers dropped ropes through the torn roof, hauling Olivia upward. She clutched the baby tightly, eyes squeezed shut as strong hands pulled her toward the light. Maya followed, bloodied but alive. Below, Nathan lunged again. "You think you can take my family from me?" Liam intercepted him, slamming him against the wall. "You lost your family when you killed for greed," he snarled. Nathan twisted, rage burning through the pain. "You always wanted her. Admit it." Liam's jaw clenched. "Maybe I wanted her safe, something you never gave her." Nathan roared, grabbing a shard of metal from the shattered panel and thrusting it forward. Liam caught his wrist. The 2 brothers locked in a deadly struggle. The elevator cables creaked above, metal groaning. "Stop!" Olivia screamed from above, watching helplessly as they fought in the glow of the SWAT lights. "Please, one of you will die." Liam turned toward her, voice for a split second, enough for Nathan to break free and slam his shoulder into him. Both men stumbled toward the broken door. The metal edge gave way. Liam slipped, catching the ledge with one hand. Nathan stood over him, breathing hard, blood streaking his face. "You always thought you were better than me," he hissed. "But we're the same." Liam looked up, defiant. "No, I still have a soul." With one final surge of strength, Liam grabbed Nathan's arm and yanked him forward. The momentum sent both men tumbling through the open doorway. Their bodies crashed into the cables below, twisting together before disappearing into the darkness. Olivia's scream pierced the air. "No!" The elevator jerked violently, shaking the SWAT ropes. Officers shouted, "We've got to move!" They hauled her the rest of the way up, debris falling like rain beneath her. When she reached the top floor, the baby wailed in her arms. Maya wrapped an arm around her. "It's over," she whispered. "They're gone." Olivia's chest heaved as she looked down the shaft. Smoke and sparks rose from below, the faint echo of twisted metal fading into silence. "They can't be," she whispered. "They can't both be gone." The lead officer gestured toward the stairwell. "Ma'am, we need to evacuate the building. It's not stable." Olivia followed numbly, clutching her child. Each step felt heavier than the last. Outside, rain washed over the flashing police lights. Reporters swarmed behind barricades, cameras snapping as she emerged, soaked, blood-stained, trembling but alive. Maya guided her toward an ambulance. "You did it, Liv. You survived everything they threw at you." Olivia sank onto the stretcher, staring at the tiny face of her daughter. "Then why doesn't it feel like victory?" Before Maya could answer, a medic rushed from the elevator entrance, pale and shaken. "We found someone," he shouted. "One survivor in the shaft." Olivia's heart stopped. "Who?" The medic hesitated, eyes darting toward the wreckage, and as a stretcher emerged from the smoke, a familiar hand hung limp over the edge, bearing Ryan's wedding ring, slick with blood but unmistakably alive. Ryan's hand twitched as paramedics wheeled him out of the wreckage. His pulse was weak but steady. Olivia stumbled forward, heart pounding. "Ryan," she cried, clutching her baby to her chest. "Please, open your eyes." A medic steadied her. Ma'am, he's critical but alive. We're moving him to St. John's Trauma Center. You can follow in the next ambulance." Olivia nodded through tears, her breath shaking. She leaned over the stretcher and whispered, "You promised you'd come back to me." His lips moved faintly, barely audible. "Always live." Maya caught her arm, helping her into the second ambulance. "He's going to make it. You both are." Hours later, dawn broke over Los Angeles. The city, bruised and battered from the chaos, was slowly waking to the headlines that would change everything. Hale Empire collapses amid scandal. Truth finally exposed. Inside the hospital, Olivia sat by Ryan's bedside, the baby asleep in her arms. His face was pale, but the monitors beeped with the steady rhythm of life. "You saved me more times than I can count," she whispered, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. "Now I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you never have to fight alone again." Ryan's fingers moved weakly, reaching for her hand. His voice was hoarse but clear. "Is she okay?" Olivia smiled through tears. "She's perfect. She's our light." For a moment, everything was still. The storm outside replaced by sunlight streaming through the blinds. Liam's sacrifice, Alma's courage, and her father's truth all felt present in that quiet room. Maya entered, holding a bouquet of wildflowers and her camera bag. "You made national history, Liv. The FBI confirmed multiple arrests across the Hale board. Richard's accounts are frozen, and Nathan's confirmed dead. The world finally knows." Olivia looked down at her daughter. "Then maybe she'll grow up in a world where people like them can't buy the truth." Maya smiled softly. "That's because of you." Weeks passed. Ryan recovered slowly, strength returning with each sunrise. The three of them, Olivia, Ryan, and their daughter, moved north to Santa Barbara, far from the noise of the city. They named the baby Aurora Grace after the first light that broke the darkness. Liam was buried beside Helen Hale on the family estate. Olivia spoke at the memorial, her voice steady. "He chose redemption over blood," she said, "and in doing so, he gave us all a second chance." Months later, the New Light Foundation opened its doors, a nonprofit born from the ashes of Hale Dynamics. It provided legal aid and refuge for women silenced by power. Olivia stood before the press, Aurora in her arms, Ryan by her side. "This isn't about revenge," she told the crowd. "It's about rebirth. Pain may break us, but truth rebuilds us." Applause filled the courtyard. Cameras flashed. Ryan slipped his arm around her shoulders, whispering, "You did it, Liv?" She looked at him, eyes bright with peace. "We did it." As the sun set behind the ocean, Olivia lifted Aurora toward the light. The breeze carried the scent of salt and jasmine, soft and new. For the first time in years, she felt no fear, only gratitude. And when her daughter's tiny fingers curled around hers, Olivia Hartman knew the story that began in betrayal had ended in love, truth, and a peace no one could ever take away. So that's how our story ends. And if you're still here right now, my friend, maybe something in Olivia's journey touched your heart in a way words can't fully explain. Life hurts sometimes, betrayal, loss, fear, but as the Stoics remind us, what stands in the way becomes the way. Every wound can be a doorway to strength, every heartbreak a teacher in disguise. Olivia learned that healing isn't forgetting, it's choosing peace over pain, truth over comfort, love over fear. And maybe tonight, you needed that reminder too. If her story made you feel something, hope, courage, maybe just the will to keep going, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, share this with someone who might need light right now, and subscribe to our channel. Because here, we don't just tell stories, we heal together, one heart at a time.